Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Dr. Taha. But actually, it is a big mistake to talk after you because your English is even better than mine. So, mm, o- okay, okay. I hope I can present useful and applicable information. As we engineer always provide practical solution to many problems. First, we start with agenda, and we're going to have motivation and objective, and then course specification, very first version, and second version 2018, and the third version, which is the current version. Then we're going to conclude. Maybe I will be long 10 minutes more uh, due to increase of two slides. Sorry. We are motivated by new form, as you know, of NCAA. Our objective to apply the philosophy of the NCAA 2020. Actually, I'm going to concern about course learning outcomes, the three domains, and I will speak in two slides about program learning outcomes. Uh, just bear in mind that accreditation is not filling a form overnight. We should understand and apply, evaluate, and modify each statement before for better learning. So we have to understand everything. First, we start with ETEC. We know هي تقويم التعليم والتدريب. They have accreditations for which for institutional and program, and also قياس which for preparing learning outcome and measuring learning outcomes. All these are under national qualification framework, which is also put by ETEC, and all under the umbrella of outcome-based education. Under the same umbrella, we found the giant accreditation boards, which is a bit have been working for more than maybe 90 years, and currently is Washington Accord. So we are framed by outcome-based education. This is our main frame for all of accreditation boards, nationally and international. What is the principles of OBE? Since 1990, starting to use this formula for most of institutions and accreditation approach. There are four main principles for outcome-based education. Mainly, I will talk about timely remedial action with improvement action at the best possible time. In his 2018 books, the author said that there is a misunderstanding of his principle, a wrong implementation. Maybe for more information about OBED, you can download my integrated course design from my ResearchGate website. Uh, Next step, we're going to talk about mapping of course and program. I will talk on this for only two slides. First, we have to understand there is no specific way to evaluate program. No specific way from any board. Just be simple and accurate, and you reach. Do not put constraints. This is a first mapping or could be adopted by NCAA or there is a different form, but this is a usual one. What is the mistake we do always here? Uh, this is a program learning outcomes, and here we have courses. First of all, you have to include all courses, university, college, and department. even chemistry, Islamic, physics, whatever you teach, you have to include it in the mapping of courses and program. I have two columns here. Here the skill should start from the lower to the upper class. So the first BLO2 is wrong because the skills here start from introduce and then go to the mastered and then come back to that is a big mistake. So it have to be going from lower to higher skill. That is the right one. So we have vertical consistency, also horizontal consistency, the same thing. That is wrong, and this is the right. So the mapping should be consistent vertically and horizontally. This is the first point. And before you start your courses, you have to do this. Unfortunately, we always do the courses without having course program mapping. And sooner or later you find that your course learning outcome is not on the specific level. Before here is M. So you put as M. Then you realize that no, that is a mistake. It should be B. So you have to reform your course learning outcomes. This is what about program and course. Now move to course specification. According to the various version of uh, NCAA forms 2009, we have 5 domains. I suppose that you are familiar with how to construct course learning outcomes and Bloom domain and levels. So we have 5. We are going to talk about each one separately. What's the knowledge? Knowledge is remember, understand, and so what is the knowledge? Knowledge is the lower part of cognitive domain. 3 domains: remember, understand, apply. If you have any learning outcome start with these, sorry, with these levels, it should be knowledge. What's the cognitive skills? It is the upper or higher 3 levels of cognitive domains. Also, this is according to EBIT. So we are all working under the same OBE umbrella. There's some differences between interpersonal skill and responsibility from resources and NCAA. For example, first we start with literature review. The literature defined interpersonal skill and responsibility as ethics and teamwork and problem solving. There's a misunderstanding of problem solving. We thought that problem solving gives him a problem in, for example, Newton, how to solve Newton problem. No. Problem solving, a student should first define what is any problem, even social problem. What is a problem? Then generate solutions, not one solution. Then select the best solution and apply it and evaluate it. This is a problem solving. This is a problem solving principle. And in engineering college, we have a separate subject which teaches a student at lower level these principles. Also included communications. This according to literature. If you write on your Google interpersonal skill and responsibility, will give you communication. We have different type of communication, of course, verbal, listening, and writing, and non-verbal. Is NCAA have the same definition? No. But we have to follow NCAA. So including only ethics, team, and problem. This is always cause confusion between these two definitions. So we have to follow NCAA definition for 3 of ethics, team, work and problem solving. This is the first things. We have to use which level we are going to use, which domain we are going to use, effective domain for each of these. For each of these, even communication, we have to use effective domain. And we have, of course, different level of domains according to the contribution of the course to your program. Level 1 and 2 and 3 depend on IM or R. And also this is you can find more information about this in integrated course design from my website. There's a three separate presentation. Now we come to the fourth one, is a communication information technology. So we get communication, we take communication from interpersonal skill and put it here. This is a communication, the four types of communications. And then information technology, IT, and numerics and statistics. So three of them from communication as a title, information technology, and numerical skills. This is a numerical skills here. What psychomotor skills? This is the fifth one from domains of 2009. What's the psychomotor? Is using hands or eyes, physical behaviors, just called, and I'll give you an example here. Also, it has three levels according to the student levels or course contribution to the program. This is why I emphasize in the first of presentation that the mapping of the courses to program is very important as a beginning, as before starting doing course learning outcomes. Because I have 2 days ago I have a negotiation or debate with a friend of mine of university not in Jazan. He said we already specify our course learning objective and we don't know about mapping between program and courses. This is psychomotor skills examples, trained to drive in a car and this and that, even engineering, everything using hands and eyes. That called psychomotor. And you can find it in a lot of disciplines. Lot of discipline you need to do psychomotor. So this is about 29. Now we come about 2018, the second version of NCAAA course specification. The five domains now have been shortened to only 3 domains. As Dr. Ahmed Taha said, knowledge, skill, competence. Now we have a new terminology, competence. What's the competence? Competence level at which performance is acceptable. For example, company A want a graduate who can carry a load. Company B said, no, that's not enough. You have to carry a spherical load. So company A accept this, company B accept this. So is it acceptable for A or B? So competence, it is more than skill, more than behavior or knowledge. It's higher than knowledge. Competence, there are two types of competence, specific, related to the course, or generic. For example here, conduct successfully tooth extraction. This is what the type is psychomotor. But what do you mean by successfully here? If you want to do it in 1 hour or 10 minutes, it depends. If it's 10 minutes, it is high competency. So psychomotor now skills become a competence. If you need the student to do it in fast way and successful, so that is competence. That is competence. Now we compare the last two versions. Knowledge is knowledge. Skills, we have cognitive skill, communications as psychomotor. And the third one is interpersonal, is a competence. Is that all competence? Is that all competence? No. We can add from skills some competence. If I want him to extract the tooth in quickly or in 5 minutes, or so that's competence. So competence is more than skill and not only interpersonal skills. So we can add cognitive skills, communication skills, and psychomotor skills to competence. Now the new philosophy of NCAA is different. Not only for course specifications, there are a lot of things, as Dr. Ahmad Taha has said, level of education. Here, this is a new form. Still, knowledge understanding is the same as my understanding. This is a previous two, as we discussed. And here is a new form. As it seems as there's no difference. No, there's a difference. What is the difference? Now values is become instead of competence. What does that mean? Competency will be developed after graduation. We need values. You have to concentrate on values. You have to concentrate on values. This is a new philosophy of NCAA. Don't miss the communication. We have here communication, and here we have no communication according to the NCAA definition. According to the NCAA definition. So don't forget that we have no communication here. So the role play is on communication. You should teach your student how to address email, which is a basic of communication, which we face nowadays on e-learning or online learning. For example, this is an email received from a student of mine last semester. It is rubbish. This is in the final year. Everything in subject place. And he should use his student Jezan you, and that's okay. By the end of the day, we will have about 50 lab 2 files. So you don't know which for which. So this should be at least his ID. Any file should be under the name or under his ID. At least you have to sort the files. So we miss this information. You can put this as a grade. You can deduct some grades if he or you do not accept, but you have to take care about this. You have to emphasize about the basic principle of communication, which everything have been formed now according to the new era of teaching and learning, which is online teaching or e-education. So we have to take care about the first things about communication. I will conclude in two slides, only left two slides, heuristics. This would summarize everything in here and can be as heuristics. What should I put here? Knowledge and understanding, which is a lower cognitive domain. If you have any course learn outcome from this domain, you have to put it in learning and understanding. Knowledge and understanding. Skills, higher cognitive domain. There is a mistaken domain word, sorry. Psychomotor domain, plus communication, IT, and numerics, statics. And what we're going to put in values, ethics, teamwork, and problem solving. And this should all use affective domain. Affective domain should go in the third domain. In the third domain. I think this will be a practical way how to fill in this form, and assume that you now you realize you have some mistakes, or you realize that there is a misalignment of a course learner objective. I have a lot of debates with the coordinators, and always they try to put some constraint for this. This should be go up here, skills. Now my question, I will leave it open, and I appreciate if you can share me your answer, but with evidence, with evidence before, because teaching and learning has the priority of assessment. We cannot wait for long. Oh, I will not answer. Sorry. I will leave it open. Considering the OPE principle, timely remedial action, and as we see that NCAA have changed in 2 years, have changed everything in 2 years, and no one except for that even apply for accreditation or not apply. You have to form everything from beginning. So based on this, are you going to make change next semester, after 4, after 8 terms? Please share your discussion with your coordinator and ask him for evidence, because we always try to put some constraint, and that is, I think, what he meant by the author of OBE. There is a misunderstanding of application of his principles. Wassalamu alaikum. Thank you. Jazakumullah khair. And you can and download the presentation from here. And I think I finish here. Dr. Ahmad Taha, you can take the initiative, and thank you. Welcome.